to their charge.
The Budget Committee today tabled to the floor of Parliament two reports, including the majority and minority one, read by the Deputy Chairperson Achia Remigio and Ibrahim Semujunganda respectively, for the budget proposals for the financial year 2025-2026. The majority report praised the government for allocating 1.4 trillion shillings in the next financial year towards servicing domestic areas, away from the 200 billion shillings, which was allocated for the current financial year for a debt that stood at 13 trillion shillings.
Total domestic debt interest payments to total revenues, excluding grants, is reduced to 12.5% by the financial year 25-26.
To some companies, you're saying, well, they're about to collapse and so on, but these ones render the service to you as government, and you don't want to pay. We need to reprioritize.
Offset this included the obligation by which we offset, and the balance remained 5.2 trillion. When we remove the budget for this year of 1.4, we remain with 3.8, which we plan to settle in the next 3 years.
The majority report also wants the government to stop introducing supplementary budgets because they disrupt the main budget and implementation.
CFR 2022, the Minister of Finance, Plan and Economic Development should seek parliamentary approval for the projected deviations from the objective of the CFR as spelled in the law, since the targets set in the annual estimates clearly show a projected deviation from the set targets.
However, the minority report had no positive comments for the government, which it accused for taking taxpayers' money and giving it to private individuals, thus preventing Ugandans from getting services.
1% is wondering why PDM not making the rest of the population wealthy. So the rest of the population, you give them 1% of the budget, which is 1 trillion. The president is Uganda's aim.
The budget estimates at 72.374 trillion shillings, but this will have 27.378 trillion shillings for debt repayment, 8.5 trillion for civil servant salaries and more. However, the government will borrow 32 trillion shillings for budget support, but also debt servicing.
I have finished 38% of the budget, which is going to pay debt. You need to know at the end of this debate that actually there is no budget you are passing. 38.
The International Specialized Hospital of Lubowa will receive 465 billion shillings next year. Roko Construction Company 60 billion shillings. Uganda will pay 247 billion shillings to fines to DRC, and 14 billion shillings is in the budget to help pay off the debt of the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council for the sale of land in Sembabule to two different people.
What you sold Uganda Muslim Supreme Council farmland in Sembabule to two different people. One of the buyers took him to court and obtained an order to attach Uganda Muslim Supreme Council property, including the National Mosque. Now President Museveni has ordered that taxpayers' money be allocated to Mubaje to help him repay the money he ate.
This budget does not include money to purchase ambulances.
They told us they are working out a project where they will fund the procurement of the ambulances, but it's not there in this budget.
It's on your budget for financial year 2025-2026 was in favor of the control name. Let's have it.
However, the government expects to raise 37 trillion shillings in taxes to help drive the budget. Jumakiria, NTV.